Has K-9 gathered himself? Can Chris Smith keep coming on? Punch track numbers. Let's look at the headshots from that last round. Smith, commanding edge, 26-15. Had 29 connects overall. High total for him so far in this fight. And K-9 was hurt in that 6th round.
I talked about earlier that Bundrage might want to get a lead early in this fight, because you could expect Smith to come down the stretch like Secretariat. And to survive that run, Bundrage might need those rounds. Right now, at least on my scorecard, he does not have that cushion if Smith makes a run out.
Teddy's scorecard now 57-57. That 6th round was real close of potentially being a 10-8. Right hand comes from Chris Smith. Bundrage fires back.
Well, right now, there's separation. Bundrage using his legs to keep that separation to score on the outside.
Come on, let him go.
This is not what you want to see. Again, if you're in the corner of Smith, when he works hard to get in there and takes the risk of getting hit with that right hand to get close, Joe. If you're a back of Smith, you want to see him do work when he gets in close, not smother himself, not get tied up. You just saw a minute ago an opportunity that could quickly turn this fight right back to the hands of Bundrage. Smith still has that habit. Just watch. He'll tilt forward when he jabs sometimes when there's distance. It's up to Bundrage to keep that gap where he gives Smith that rope to hang himself. That room where he can reach in a little bit with that jab and get a little top heavy and leave himself open to a right hand. There it is right there. When Smith jabs to the head, he reaches a little.
Just for men punch track numbers, look at the output of Bundrage in the early goings compared to what he's done in rounds 5, 6, and 7 in terms of the jabs.
I think Bundrage is going to get an opportunity if he sets his feet on the outside, where Smith is just going to tilt a little bit forward with that jab and that upper body for a right hand to find home. Again, right now, Bundrage dealing with the pressure of Smith. And that pressure can break people down.
Coming to the end of this 7th round, it's been a great main event so far. 3 rounds to go here. First, let's check in with BK.
So on the undercard last week, 2 guys pretty much under the radar, but 1 guy making a big step up. Take a look from the undercard of against Sam Peter and James Toney last week. It's Travis Sims against Jose Antonio Rivera, and Sims very impressive. This from Hollywood, Florida last Saturday, and Sims fast, physical, inactive through a good part of his career lately because of a variety of issues, but here against Rivera, who had been active, Sims all over him. He would get a knockout, a TKO in the 9th round. So Travis Sims back in action, up on top, and gets a knockout win and is vaulted into the top 10 of the junior.
The wife and manager of Cornelius, K-9 Bundrage. Of course, she has been such a vested interested spectator for the past year, all his contender fights, and now this really the fight that's going to determine the remainder of his career, going up against an established name like Chris Smith. 8th round, scheduled for 10.
What I think is going to determine this fight is if Smith starts using that jab as he's starting this round. Because we've stated it, and it seemed to have been fairly consistent so far in this fight. The outside belongs to Bundrage. The inside is there for the taking for Smith. But if Smith can start taking that outside away from Bundrage, as you see, Bundrage dominates right there with the jab. If Smith starts using his own jab, which he's not doing right now, and starts taking that outside territory away from Bundrage, and then we know that he can handle it on the inside, Smith can suddenly start grabbing this fight. That jab, I think, plays so important to Smith right now. And he's not using it.
No,
he's not taking that outside fight away from Bundrage.
And instead, Bundrage is doing what you want Smith to be doing. There's the numbers, the punch track, the jabs. You can see the output by Bundrage commanding that category.
Give Bundrage credit.
Nice bounce back round in the 7th round. He's doing it well here in the first half of this 8th round.
And he's recognizing where he needs to do it. He's recognizing his strength and Smith's strength. Smith's strengths are close. Bundrage's strength is outside. Bundrage picking his area outside very well.
Smith had Bundrage hurt in that 6th round on wobbly legs, but then in the 7th round, Smith, his least productive round, threw only 38 punches.
I think Bundrage just had a real estate agent come up to him in the corner and say the magic words. It's all about location, 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 and Bundrage keeping that location on the outside very well this round.
Able to adapt, able to fight smart. It's not going over well with the crowd here, but you know what it's doing? It's keeping him ahead in this fight on your scorecard. After what could have been a complete disaster in that 6th round.
And it's breaking up the pressure and the effectiveness of Smith. Smith now putting pressure on, but slowly, not consistently, not effectively like he was a couple rounds ago. Smith not dealing with the adjustment that Bundrage has made to take it outside.
Good, consistent jab from K-9, and Smith really never found him for 3 solid minutes of this 8th round. 2 to go from Tacoma. 33-year-old contender, bronze medal match winner, K-9 Bundrage, coming out for the 9th round against Chris the Mechanic Smith. Bundrage, steady work, back to the jab. Such a critical fight for both men. Chris Smith talked to us yesterday. You see him trailing on Teddy Atlas's scorecard by 2 rounds, saying, boy, I'd really like to get a fight with Paul Williams or Arturo Gatti. He was almost looking ahead, recognizing the fact that on paper this fight set up so well for him. We were talking about the fact that just a year ago we probably wouldn't have even made this fight, that Chris Smith would have been a huge favorite over K-9. But things change in this game, and you can't look ahead. And Bundrage has made it in the course of the past year where you can never look past him.
We said in the fight plan early on, this fight would come down to who could be more consistent in their area of advantage. Bundrage's area was on the outside, Smith's on the inside. Bundrage has been a little more consistent at a very important part in this fight with his area on the outside.
Fell in with a right hand there. Chris Smith obviously got the judges' attention in the 6th round. K-9 steadily using the jab in rounds 7 and 8, not going back to the inside as Smith has followed him around. How will the judges see the stretch run of this fight? That will be very important.
You know what's really interesting here, Joe, is just the ability to adjust, survive, and then move forward. And that's been shown very well by Bundrage. You know, he showed and found a way to deal with Smith's strength. He took away Smith's strength. Smith's strength was pressure and working inside. So Bundrage used his legs, and he found a way to get separation, use his jab, and nullify Smith's advantage. Smith has not, and it's his job in the next round and 1 minute to find a way to take advantage or take away the advantage of Bundrage, take away that outside advantage. And the way he's got to do it is with his jab, and he hasn't. And if things aren't tough enough for Smith, now he has a very refreshed looking Bundrage who's been able to fight at his pace, at his distance, feeling confident going into the last round.
3 minutes to